Hi everyone, I'm John Bifulki, Research Manager at SpecialEurasia. We are following the news and the situation in the Middle East. As you know, yesterday was confirmed the killing of the leader of Hezbollah, Nasrallah. We can say, first of all, that it is a big success for Israeli intelligence. As we stated in our report published yesterday evening, which collects and analyze open source information, also data regarding the Israeli military operations in Beirut. We stated that first of all this underline an Israeli victory in terms of intelligence, and this is important if we consider that less than 1 year ago, on October 7, 2023, Israel suffered a huge defeat in terms of intelligence when Hamas managed to organize the military operation which marked the beginning of this situation escalation in the Middle East and the beginning of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict in the Gaza Strip. It is a huge blow for Hezbollah, of course. But as we stated in our report, and I want to confirm this, that also in 1982, when Israel killed the former leader of Hezbollah at that time, Israeli media and also officials stated that it was the end of the Islamic Party and Islamic movement. But after more than 30 years, the movement and the organization managed to develop its political and military apparatus and structure. Of course, after the October 2023, Israel managed to kill several high-ranking officials among the Palestinian Islamic Jihad, Hamas, Hezbollah. We can mention the killing of Ismail Haniyeh, the political leader of Hamas in Tehran and the Islamic Republic of Iran. And today we can mention the killing of Nasrallah. What we can say, it seems that Israel is trying to pushing its military efforts to secure a buffer zone, not only in the Gaza Strip and in Cisjordania or West Bank, let's say in West Bank, but also in Lebanon. Try to create a buffer zone which allow Israel to protect its core to avoid in the future other military operations as what happened in October 2023 led by Hamas. There are some open sources, some videos which claim also that a part of the Israeli society, probably the most radicals inside the Israeli society, they consider a part of Lebanon or the entire Lebanon as Israeli territory, a Jewish territory where Tel Aviv should extend its control. And the main question is if Israel is trying just to secure its border to avoid that Hezbollah will continue to target with missiles and military operation its territory, or if it is just the beginning of a military operation to conquer other part of territory, as what happened in the past in the Sinai on Golan area. Another question is, what is the limit now? I'm saying what is the limit because if we look what did Israel after October 2023, with the main goal to defeat Hamas, Palestinian Islamic Jihad, and also to rescue the hostages, which is a target and goal that Israel didn't accomplish. Israel killed more than 40,000 people in the Gaza Strip and caused a humanitarian crisis. The international audience, international opinion changed this attitude toward Israel, particularly because they use a huge military force and also because Israel several times didn't respect human rights and the Geneva Conventions. We think also what happened last week with the exploiting of devices to kill, to target Hezbollah leaders and kill them, which caused more than 30,000 also injury and victims, injured people among the Lebanese society. Other question is if usually the West, United States, which is the main support of Israel, but also Europe, they stated that Israel has the right of self-defense, and this means that has the right to eliminate all its enemies. The main question is if there is a limit about the self-defense or if this self-defense can reach not only Lebanon and Palestine, but also can reach Syria, as happened when Israel bombed the Syrian embassies, Syrian diplomatic mission in Damascus, also when Israel killed Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran the day before the current president of Iran, Pezeshkian, was confirmed as the new president of the Republic, of the Islamic Republic. And the main question is if this can become a modus operandi, a strategy that also other countries can use. In this case, if Israel has the right to defend itself, self-defense, and kill the enemies also in other territory, in other countries, in the future, if China will perceive a foreign threat, a military presence in Taiwan, the USA presence in Taiwan as a threat, why China cannot start a military operation against Taiwan and attack Taiwan? Well, in that case, why the international community, and particularly the West, could address, could confront the Chinese strategy if in the past we support Israel and these strategies? Also, if you look at the Ukraine conflict, if you look also at the Russian narrative, usually the Russians say that they started what they so-called special military operations in Ukraine to support the local Russian population against the Kiev government because they were facing the discrimination, but also to avoid the fact that at its borders the NATO could establish biological weapons laboratory and also military bases. In this case, usually Moscow say that it was its right of self-defense against Ukraine because in the Ukrainian territory there were threats against its national security. And if we look what happened with the Kursk invasion, or we can say that in this case this confirms, at least after 2 years, the Russian narrative. So how we can in this case judge or accuse Russia of this operation or the conflict in Ukraine if at the same time we say that Israel has the right of self-defense and can kill every target, every person and organization labeled as an enemy of the Israeli state abroad, also in Lebanon, in Syria, in Iraq. Another aspect that we wanted to stress in our report is the fact that Israel can face not only Iran, probably is pushing Iran for a conflict, particularly before the election, the USA election, because we don't know if in this case Trump or Kamala Harris will win the election. And Trump said several times that he fully supports Israel, while Kamala Harris, even though is the representative of the Democrats always supported Israel, but the Democrats need also to face a huge part of the population of their voters. They are Muslims and they are also Arabs. So in this case, it seems that Israel is trying to push Iran in a conflict, and a future escalation of the region can, of course, impact not only the region itself, but the entire Mediterranean area. Also Europe, if we think that the Houthi try to target the Ben Gurion airport when Netanyahu was going back from New York to Israel, where he had a speech at the United Nations Assembly. Also, the Shiite militia in Iraq stated that not only Israel is one of the primary target, but also the Emirates, the United Arab Emirates, because they signed the Abraham Accords with Israel and they are supporting, they are trade partner with Israel. The consequence could be huge and significant, also the increase in geopolitical risk. And we should be really careful in a time where Israel and Iran can face each other, and this conflict that at the beginning started between Israel, Hamas, and the Palestinian Islamic Jihad, and now is considerably influencing also Lebanon. Another question is if Israel usually labeled the killing of Nasrallah as a huge victory, but can also create a more fertile ground, not only for Hezbollah, but also for the Islamic State. We published several reports where we stated that Islamic State is exploiting the conflict in Palestine and what is happening in Gaza Strip to promote this jihadist propaganda, also to say don't follow neither Iran nor Lebanon nor Hezbollah, not Al-Qaeda, but just become an Islamic State fighters and try to organize more violent attacks against Israel and its supporters, and the main supporters are Europe and United States. And this means that we can also face a huge wave of terrorist attacks also on the European soil. So thanks for your attention. See you in the future to comment what is happening in the Middle East by the entire Russia. Bye bye.